crazy up in here. Goodness gracious, ain't it exciting to have some place to go, to have something to do, to know that you got a fighting chance, that you got a prayer. Well, the Alliance knows that you got a chance. Well, Alliance is fired up right now. Business is booming. I know that I'm not oblivious that America has its challenges. There's stuff going on in the economy out there, but we have a bright spot. We have a place that you can call home, a place that you can create financial freedom, a place that you can travel the world and enjoy stuff with your family, show your children that there's something to live for. And that fires me up to have something like that. As a matter of fact, that's why I get up in the morning, is because this Alliance creates that spot. So I'm asking you on this show today, the Wednesday call, TWC, is help me. Help me create this place. Help me create this spot. Come live with us in this spot in the world, in America, with the Alliance. We are creating our own insurance company. We've got great relationship with carriers. We've got leads. We've got leadership. We've got a mission statement that's worth doing. See, a lot of people have a job and they don't think it's important. They think that what they're doing is just for an hourly wage. There's a real simple story about one painter and one guy who's building a brick wall, and he says, "What are you doing?" He says, "Well, I'm building a brick wall and I'm getting paid $10 an hour to put these bricks on here." And the same guy over here, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'm building a magnificent cathedral that God will be worshiped in, and it'll change lives." So this guy works with boredom and he feels like he's being beat down. This guy works with excitement and enthusiasm and anticipation, and what happens is he gets promoted. He gets more because he has more excitement about what he's doing. And what we are doing with the Alliance is we're offering you a chance to come to work, come into a business, that you create what you want to create, but you know that you're building a system that helps people, that makes a difference in families, makes a difference in children's lives, makes a difference in marriages, and ultimately, we believe, helps your eternity, because what you're doing here on earth is you're honoring your word, you're showing integrity, you're showing compassion, you're helping your fellow man. That's what fires me up, because I know that there's a lot of ways to make a dollar bill. But to find a way that you can make money, you can make a life, you can make the freedom, the ability to travel, and do it and help people, that's what gets crazy exciting. And I'm doing it with people that I've known for 6 months. I just met Sean, and then I turn around, I'm dealing with people that I've known for 20 years that are with us. And there are some buddies I've known for more than 20 years. I'm like, "Man, why don't you join us? Because I know what you're doing is a dead end. You could come join us." So I appreciate y'all tuning in. We've been doing this Wednesday call, for 13 years in a row. We have different guests come on here. I've got a couple of strong, powerful guests that I will get them to speak here in a minute. But the first thing I want to get it started with, I want to show you this, this contest that we have going. I want to kind of remind you of this. We're calling it the Greek Cruise. We're going to go to several islands. We're starting out in Olympia. First of all, we're going to fly you to Venice. And this contest comes from 100,000 points. You can write with Foresters, CFG, Monumental, Mutual of Omaha, all these companies, the points go toward these trips. 100,000 points. So we've got 9 months left. So if you're starting today, all you need is 11,000 issue paid, or 11,000 production per month for the next 9 months, and you get to go, knowing that we've got people that issue pay 20,000 a month, 30,000 a month, 40,000 a month. We've had people do 50,000 in 1 month. And so we're talking about over 9 months accumulating 100,000 points. And there are people that join us that have taken trips like this before in their life. Sometimes they've taken 2 trips like this. But most of the time, we're getting people that have never been on a world-class trip like this. And see, for me, I'm still so excited about going on this trip. I'm going like, if you've ever been on one, to me, you should be more excited. If you've not been on one of these trips, get your mind right. Figure out what you've got to do to win this trip. You say, I need money. I know, but it's a funny thing. If you try to go make money, you won't work as hard as if you try to win the trip. You go for the trip, and all of a sudden, you get the money. It's a funny cycle. I call it tricking yourself into having more money. I trick myself in a lot of ways. I will pass out ways. I go like, here's ways. This is one strategy you can use to trick yourself into make money, or motivate yourself. Get your mind right into making money. And so what we do is we try to provide pleasant ways that that get their head right toward making money. So this trip will fly you to Venice. We'll sail from there to Olympia. Then we'll go over to Mykonos, then Santorini and Corfu. These are beautiful islands that I've seen before. We hang out on a beautiful trip, incredible food, incredible camaraderie. You'll have a blast. I mean, I won't say it's money back guaranteed, but it's all free. You'll have gifts on your bed every night. It is ridiculous. Me and my wife, Jane, we have just become accustomed to this, and we're going like, we're not going to miss these trips. We love them. And I think once you go and you get the taste of it, I've got Alex Fitzgerald on the line, I got Chris Long on the line, and they're kind of getting used to doing this. Fitz has been doing it however many years. Fitz, I want you to talk about that. It's how many years you've been doing it, how many trips you've taken. And people go like, can I live like this? And I just want to tell you, yes. Yes, you can live like this. And I'm going to show you, matter of fact, the whole show. Sometimes I cut this show to an hour. I'm going to do an hour and a half. So in a minute, I'm going to start walking you through the simple things. But the first thing you got to do is say, can I do it? Is it for me? And I would ask you, I go like, why not you? Why not you? Why not now? Why would it work for Aaron? Why would it work for Angela? Why would it work for Andy? Why would it work for Cuz? Why would it work for James and Jane? Why not you? Why wouldn't it work for you? You give me your list of why it wouldn't work for you. And if you give me your objections and let me go, oh, that won't work. That excuse won't work. You know, you say, well, I don't have a college degree, or my mom and you don't understand. My mom and daddy were a waitress or a waiter, or my daddy, he was a bum, or what? I mean, what? What is it? Why not you? Why can't you do it? Why wouldn't we let you on here? Okay? You say, well, I mean, I'm going to tell you this. First of all, can you get appointed? Because the only reason, now, if you got a felony, whew, you know what I mean? And you say, well, I got a felony, I got appointed. You're okay then. But some people can't. Right? I mean, some people got bad history. You got bad history. I'm sorry, man. I hate you did that. I hate whatever happened. But okay, so all that gone. You're on the team. So I just didn't get caught. Hey, you know, there's some of my friends out here the same way. They changed their ways. Don't none of us feel like that, do anybody feel like you should have got caught last week speeding? You know, I should have got caught speeding last week, but I didn't. Well, let me give you a tip. Don't speed this week. Right? So, I mean, how many feel like it? Don't raise your hand. But how many feel like life is just sometimes just like, whew, I made a mistake. Here's the good news. This business is not built for perfect people. It's built for people that have had problems and still have problems. I'm going to show you how to work around those problems in a minute and get to doing the business of winning the cruise. All right? So, guys, the Alliance is alive and well. Looks like we've got 20,000 leads in inventory. We've got people begging us. We're running around with our tongue hanging out, which just wore out calling people, selling insurance, getting families covered, and then on top of that, we're trying to hire more people to come help us. One of my buddies, when we started this out 13 years ago, he said, let's don't tell nobody about the cookie. I was like, what cookie? He said, the cookie of what we do. Because if somebody else eats a cookie, we don't have no cookies. I was like, bro, there's more cookies in the back. He's like, so we can tell somebody else about the cookies? I was like, dude, we got cakes back here. We got pies. Give it away. Hire people. Because when I got my insurance license, I thought this. I was like, wonder why no insurance agent told me about it? Because if he could get a percentage off of what I do, why didn't he tell me? It's almost like he wanted to keep it over here and be like, I ain't gonna tell you about how much good life we can have. And so then when I got involved, I started telling my friends about it. And some of my friends, they were slow to tell people about it. I'm like, dude, you should tell people about it. You know, we really, like what we do, really they should know about it and they should come with us. Okay? Hey, it's Chris Long and are they on the line?
Yes, sir.
Chris Long, are you on here with me, buddy?
Hey, Andy, can you hear me?
You are coming in loud and clear. And if you probably hear a little bit of delay, so you have to work with me on it. Are you there 100%?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. So, Chris, you've got to go on some of the trips with us. And, of course, we just did a recruiting trip. We called it a war party. And you traveled with me and several other guys who went all over the United States. Can you relate to the folks out there that are listening in, the brand new folks, and even the ones that have been with us for a short while, what we experienced when we were out in Phoenix and Dallas and out in California and Seattle?
Absolutely, Andy. Well, first of all, guys, my name is Chris Long. I was recruited into this business by a guy by the name of Andy Riddle, my home hotspot's in St. Augustine, Florida. And boy, what an honor it was, Andy, to be able to go on the road with you guys. I'm sitting here listening to you, which is crazy to be on the call with you myself. And you're talking about, things like, is it for me? It wasn't that long ago. I mean, I've been doing this maybe right at 6 years, I guess, that I was one of those brand new people listening in, having that exact thought. And then here I am a short 6 years later, and I'm actually got a chance to tour on the road with Andy Albright and Stephen Davies, and Mark Womack and Paul Roberts and, Justin Tribb and Michael Owens and all some of these guys, they were my absolute heroes. But to be in a position and have a system that allows us to not have to be perfect, but committed to growing, but have a system that allows us to grow into that, to be one of the leaders who gets to travel around. Boy, I was like a kid in a candy store because that was neat. I saw guys at my previous job, it'd take them 15, 20, 30 years, and they still wouldn't get a chance to even meet the CEO and president. And, here we are just doing what we're supposed to do, and, when we're supposed to do it and following the system as it's laid out, and we got to go do that. But, it boils down more than anything else. It's about duplication for me, an association, Andy. Being able to get on the road with these guys, I thought when we were on the road, it really reminds me of what we've been talking about in terms of the hot spots, is that we got to really kind of, show people like the four things, like, setting the right attitude by having the top leaders. I've got comment after comment of people that have texted me and emailed me what they got out of it. I mean, like Nate Dauncey was talking about Jason Carey's ATM. He now has a chance to duplicate that. We took one of the best sales guys and trainers in the country, and he went out there, and that was on the East Coast with Fitz's party. I got guys like Gary Gentry that said, he thought that leaders were just came off as ordinary guys, but who made the most of an opportunity and in helping people, and it felt like that he could do it too now. That Adam Magelson was talking about how he thought it was the best war party he'd ever been to. He talked about Jason Carey's deal, and he talked about how Bill Lampy's scheduling was spot on. And it reminded me of what we're creating with these hot spots, but really being able to demonstrate exactly what they're supposed to look like. If Andy Albright himself was here, and there you were, and we got to go around with it, and talking about and really inspired people to invite people, which is another huge thing to grow hot spots. And then having you and Stephen Davies doing the plan, man, that was incredible. But how simple you made it, and just using the book that's part of our system that allows people just getting started to be able to take a guide, and once they get fired up and out there, they can stand in front of a room and explain this opportunity to other people and help grow a city. And then talking about when you started doing the text dialing and showing people how to do follow-ups. I mean, it was you were living like the four things it takes to grow a hotspot through these war parties. And I thought it was incredible. For me personally, just being able to associate at that level, to be able to, fly from country. It seemed like we've done countries to countries before too, which is crazy. But just getting up real early and flying to the next state and doing 4 states in 4 days, it was probably one of the most, exhausting / exhilarating. I didn't have a lot of sleep, but I wasn't tired, and that's a strange combination. Getting 3 and 4 hours of sleep here and there, but just being fired up out of your mind the next day. To be able to get on a plane with a group and having a ball, and on the plane and laughing and just teaching while we're sitting there. I had a chance to sit next to you a couple times. It was exciting, Andy, just having that opportunity. I'm so grateful that we have a system that a regular guy like me, who grew up in a small town like St. Augustine, Florida, who literally grew up on a dirt road in a double-wide trailer. Parents didn't go to college, and that sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not condemning that, but just I didn't know a guy like me would have an opportunity like I have and live like I do today. And to be able to fly into places in and out and not even think about it, it's amazing, dude. And I'm so grateful and humbled to be a part of this team. And I'm so thankful to you and some of the great mentors that I've had, like my buddy Fitz on here, and of course Mark Womack, who's taught me so much. But yes, sir, it was incredible. I don't know if that's exactly what you're looking for, but man, I'm fired up about it. And the team, I'm still getting comments that they're coming in and just what they got out of it. Dustin Johnson out of Las Vegas, who drove 3 hours to come over and see us, talked about Michael Owens' deal, and he talked about your night owl that we did over in Rancho Cucamonga. He says, I felt like the night owl in the lobby was real, to-the-point discussion. He said it was incredible. He goes on talking about how just having direct access to you. So, man, I'm fired up, dude. I'm fired up.
Well, Chris, I'm listening to you talk, and I'm thinking, I remember meeting you one of the first times. Mark Womack was saying, come over here, you got to meet these guys. Yeah. And he introduced me to you and Andy, and it was a meeting. It was 40 or 50 people there, and you and Andy were the most excited people there. It was almost like, I would go like, does the other 42 people, the other 43 people get what Chris Long is getting and what Andy and the answer is, I don't think they all got it. I think they saw it, and I think what they did is they looked at who they were, they looked at their education, they looked at their wife, they looked at their ambition level, and they said, this can't happen for me. And I was like, and I'm sitting here, and I wanted to look at all of them, but I see this guy, Chris Long, and I go like, this guy's got a shot. Why? Because, listen to this. Because he said, why not me? Well, why not me? And now all of a sudden, we see you and Courtney all over the world. We see you in the Bahamas. We see you in Punta Cana. We see you in Cayman. It's like, what? It's like, and it's almost like we've got used to it. That we're getting ready to go on a cruise to the Caribbean, Dude,
I got chill bumps. Literally, as you're talking, I'm getting chill bumps right now just thinking about that. Because here's the deal, man. I didn't even have my passport before I met the Alliance. I literally, to go on our first trip, our first carrier trip back in 2010, I remember going to the courthouse and it's like, yeah, I guess we need these. We're going to be doing a lot of traveling. And so, we just came back from Cabo a few weeks ago, and before that was Grand Cayman, and a few weeks before that it was Aruba. Who lives like that? And it's like, we do, and it's crazy. What an opportunity we have our hands on, bro. I'm so excited. And
what we need, and what we keep reminding ourselves is, and this is, I'm going to tell you something, Chris. There's people out there, Chris, that don't think they can do this. I'm going to break it to you, Chris. There's people that don't. And me and you are sitting there looking at them going, why not? You look like somebody that could. As a matter of fact, you should have seen some of us before we did. You look at us now and you go like, well, some of us, you look at us now and you're still wondering how we did it. I'm going, hey, hey, easy. But, we were like scared to death, but we were, some of us, I'm going to come clean. We acted like we knew we could do it when deep down inside, there was a lot of doubts. But we kept doing it and doing it and doing it, And next thing you know, they gave us the tickets and we went on the cruise. And I told my wife, I told Jane, I said, don't tell them who we are. She's like, well, our names are on the passport, baby. I was like, well, just don't say nothing. Just give them a passport and act like it's okay. And we'll just travel like this. You know, I saw I don't know, it was some kind of a skit or something, but it was Michelle Obama, and it was like after her husband became president, and then they closed the door. You know, she was like, my husband, you know, and he was like, yes, and my wife. And then when they closed the door, they were going, whoa, we're president, we're president, we're president, ah, we're president. You know what I mean? And I was thinking like, that's me and Jane. You know what I mean? It's like, hey. You're like, oh, we want to cruise to the Greek Isles. And then like, yeah, we're excited to go with you. And as soon as the door closed, we want a trip to the Greek Isles. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. It's got to be like that for everybody. You can't be, like, it's like that. It's like, Chris, you with me on that? I mean, it's.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you, bro. I pinch myself all the time. It's crazy. But, you know, here's the deal. Anybody can do it. They just got to commit to the system that we have, that we cover every week in one of the hot spots in one of the 60-some cities across the U.S. we are. Those 9 things that we go through, that's it, man. I don't know. It's crazy. I still get chill bumps, Andy, and Courtney and I look at each other all the time. We just kind of shake our heads like, is this real? I mean, this is really us. So, yeah,
all right.
It's funny about the Obama.
All right, I want to come. I want to come back to you. Alex Fitzgerald, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was betting you're about to bust open thinking you got to say something about this, the way we live. But before we do that, you traveled without us. You were on the East Coast doing war parties. Kind of give us a rundown on what went down on that.
Whew. You know, in the Dallas hotspot last night, I apologize to them because, you know, in Dallas they got stuck with, you know, President CEO and the rest of his group. Getting stuck with a president CEO of a $100 million company and his team, you know, Stephen Davies, funniest man in AA. Because our team was remarkable. I mean, we had a blast. And we said it in Columbus and every city, really. But, you know, walking into Columbus and walking into the room, because we weren't traveling together yet. We were just coming together from everywhere we live, and just coming into the room and seeing, hey, there's Jason Carey. Hey, look, there's Mike Leventovich, and there's my buddy Adam Katz. We've been together for, you know, I've been with Andy 20 years. It means I've been with Adam for 20 years. And look, there's Bill Lampy and John Wilson and El Chaperon, Gina Hawks, who she's now known as the Dead Mother. And we got Zach and Chris and John, the ABTF crew, and Mark Vickers, and it was just, I mean, it was cool seeing everybody. And it was like, I mean, I don't know, it was like years had passed since we had seen each other, but we picked right back up where we left off. And that was it was kind of a homecoming, and we knew we were going into the week. We're going to be tired. We're pouring into people. We're running long, you know, late into the night and early in the morning, and catching another flight. And you know, we just knew going into it. But you know what? Thursday night or Friday morning, I guess I say, I got to bed about 5:30, and I was sad to see people. I was sad to see everybody go. You know, a few of us hung out and had a drink after the last war party night, and just kind of chatted, and that conversation lasted a long time, and there was laughter, and there was tears, and there was arguing, and there was, you know, complimenting, and it was good conversation, and I hated to leave. I was excited to get back home, excited to see my family, and excited to be back in the office and all that sort of stuff. But I really, I mean, even now, if I got to move off of it, because I'll start crying about it. I hated seeing those guys go. So I've been pleading, everybody on this call, you just got to know, I've been pleading with Andy, hey, whenever it is that we do these all-star war parties again, can I keep the same team? I don't want to switch teams. I mean, I love those guys on the team, but I'm now really and truly bonded with these guys, and we know each other, and we know our speaking styles, and we know what we're strong at, we know what we're weak at. Dude, it was a stinking well-oiled machine. By the time we got to Orlando, one speaker was just flat out teeing up the next speaker, and it was perfect. Not stealing their stuff, but teeing them up to just knock it out of the park. It was beautiful. And I go, man, what are we going to do at the next war party? What's July's conference going to look like? What's January? I mean, what is this going to look like? I can't imagine where it's heading. Oh, somewhere in there, we're going on some trips. And Andy, you always said, you know, we're going to have fun, we're going to hang out, we're just going to do it in different locations around the world, and we do. You know, sometimes we're teaching and learning and associating at war parties and dressed in suits, and sometimes we're teaching and learning and associating and we're dressed in bathing suits. You know, it just never changes what we're doing. What changes is the location. And that's kind of a cool life to live. Heather and I were looking at each other this weekend, and you know, I just come off the road, and we were excited about it. Friday night was funny. Friday was Kate's birthday. She turned 2 on Friday, and so I got home, and you know, I went straight to the house, and Heather's like, "Hey, I don't really have a birthday party planned tonight, but thinking we might go to Chuck E. Cheese." Well, any parent out there knows that is a butt-kicking Chuck E. Cheese. She said, "You want to go?" I said, "Yes. It's just the family. It's just us. We'll go to Chuck E. Cheese." And we went a little bit early before the masses got there, and it was like 4:30, I guess. And we had fun. We had a blast. And Kate loved all the games. She loved those coin return things, you know, she was pushing on. But that night I got home. We finally got back to the house at 6 o'clock. I passed out on the couch. I was snoring so loud. Heather said I was rattling. I mean, the family was in there. Kate was jumping on me, like, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." I was asleep. I was just snoring. And she said at one point, Joseph, who's 7, he looked at Heather and said, "How do you sleep with that guy?" But it was like Dad was home, and you know, we had just conquered something, and man, tomorrow's going to be on, boys. Dad's got to rest up, and it's going to be on, and it was fun. But I'm excited. Now I'm looking forward to, when do we get back together? When is the next time? I'm looking forward to this weekend going to Detroit and hanging with the top 12 and learning and discussing and tweaking and just getting better. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see them, and I'm excited to learn. It's dude, it's insane. I could go through every one of the speakers, but we had Mark Vickers with us, and you could see what I'll say about our speakers. Not that they were phenomenal, they were. And Jason Carey's ATM training was the best I've seen as far as ATM training is concerned. And Mike Leventovich talking about 2020, Adam Katz, I mean, just on and on. So, but seeing how coachable those speakers were was what was more impressive, because we were at one level in Columbus on Monday. By Thursday in Orlando, we were playing a whole different game, and it was each other and Mark Vickers just saying, "Hey, instead of saying this, say that." And it was just tweak, tweak, tweak. What was exciting was to see how coachable and how quickly they were willing to change and grow. All of us were. And by Thursday, the show was remarkable. And so I thank you for the war parties, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate all my buddies that were with us on the war party and traveling together. And, you know, Chris Hill is a very funny man. And if you don't know, his name is Chris, and this is his friend Bill and his friend Fitz. And that's just for the guys on our war party. They'll laugh at that. Anyway.
Well, that's happy birthday, Kate. That's just 2 years old. And see, if you're brand new to us, and like Holly, you don't understand. This is a guy who, when he Fitz that's talking, when he graduates from college, he says, "What do I do?" And I go, "Dude, let's have fun together. Let's build a life. Let's think of something." And then he's such a tough dude. When he says, "I want to build a life with Heather," he says, I want to go to a place that I can build a business all over the United States," and just up and moves to Dallas. I mean, his car was a piece of junk. I mean, it would get you from point A to point B. It actually got him from here to Dallas, but not a beautiful vehicle. Didn't move into a beautiful house. He paid the price, and now the house he lives in now with his wife and 3 children is unbelievable. And he said, why not him? Why can't it happen for Fitz? And it has happened for Fitz. And now,
you know, Andy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I didn't finish that thought, and I started it talking about Kate's birthday. Heather and I this weekend were watching the kids play together, and we're just, relaxing. This weekend was beautiful weather in Dallas. It still is, and we were just relaxing and enjoying the family. And Heather looks over at me, and I don't know how many guys I'm going to speak to when I say this, but there's got to be at least one on the call that's going to hear this and go and understand what I'm saying. She looked at me, and she said to me, "Man, we have a really amazing life, don't we?" I said, we do, baby. I had just been gone from Monday to Friday. Dad had just been gone for a week, and we have a really amazing life, is what I hear from my wife. Dude, I'll go another week if she's gonna keep saying that kind of stuff, because that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it, is so that I gain the respect of my wife, so I have the respect of my kids. It's not for the money. The money is a byproduct of gaining that respect. The money is a byproduct of me getting my marriage right. The money is a byproduct of me being a good dad and raising good kids. Money is a byproduct of all that. And so to have my wife look at me and say, we have a really good life. We do have an amazing life. This is unbelievable. All the material stuff is awesome and all the places we get to travel, but man, we have a great marriage. We have great kids that are coming along and strong. My 7-year-old was teaching my 25-year-old how to invest her money. He was saying, okay. I said, she was asking me. She said, how do I do it? I said, Joseph, tell her how we do it. He said, well, when you get paid, you got to tithe 10%, you got to save 10%, you got to invest 10%, and then you can spend 10%. But the rest of it, but the spending part, you could decide to give more above and beyond the tithe, or you could save more, or you could invest more, or you could go buy football cards. It's really your call. And I look at that and I go, he's 7. How unbelievable is that? That's not me. That's the life that's been created because of what I'm willing to go out and fight for, and I'm willing to fight for this team. And that's the life that's been created. That is the amazing life. That's the respect I've gained in my family because of the association here. I had to throw that in. I didn't finish that thought earlier. Sorry.
No, good stuff, man. And you and Chris hang tight. I want to get to walking people through the simple concepts that can get you there. So the way I'm going to do it today is I want to talk about these next 3 meetings coming up. The Inner Circle is going up to Detroit, and we're doing a meeting. Actually, we got a suite rented, and we're going to go to a basketball game on Saturday night, and we're going to talk about what the Alliance is doing this coming year and the next 5 years. We do this all the time with the Inner Circle of guys. Fitz is there, Chris Long is there. And we'll do it in Detroit. Well, then the next day, Monday, I will be doing a war party there. And I know Alex Abian's joining me, Patrick Connors. I'm not sure who all else. There's a couple more people that are going to join me at this Detroit war party. So this will be do we do this 12:30? We do this 12:30. So we'll start at 12:30 on Monday, and we'll do a training until 5 o'clock. We'll take a break, and then at 7 o'clock, we'll do an opportunity meeting and then another training. Just like the war parties that Fitz was talking about, he did on the East Coast, and I did on the West Coast. So then we'll fly from there to Cincinnati, then to Chicago, then to St. Louis. And so this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So what I want to do is I want to talk to my buddies in Detroit. I want to talk to Larry and a couple of other guys that are in Detroit, and Janice and Jeremico, and I'll say, look, I'm coming up there. Here's what I want you thinking between 2 o'clock today. You start thinking about it now, but this show ends at 2 until Wednesday at 12:30, or Monday at 12:30, or Monday at 7. This is what you need to be thinking and doing. Because so what happens is, if you picture where you're going to be 5 years down the road, then you have to make things happen in between now and then. So the more you know where you want to be, then you got to take actions in the short term. So you have long-term goals, short-term goals, but then you micromanage your activity. Now, I can't tell you everything to do, Larry, but I can tell you what I did, and I can tell you what the people are doing that's going to get there. I can see it because I've seen it so many times. Fitz can tell you, Stephen Davies can tell you. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We'll break this down as clear as I can, and I'm looking for the audience. If you guys have questions, I want you to stop me, Joe, and say, wait, what about this? Okay, so here we go. So today is Wednesday. So we got Thursday, all day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So Monday is the day that I'm going to be in Detroit. 12:30 is when the show kicks off, when the training kicks off. We'll go to 5, and then we got a break for dinner, and then we start back from 7, and we go to midnight or so, training. So the question is, what do you do from 2 o'clock today until then? And here's the thought that I hit a buddy with just recently. I said, there's 24 hours in a day for me and you, for Larry and Eric and you. There's 24 hours in a day. So how do I get more things done over 5 years than you do? That means I do more things in 24 hours, or maybe, according to First Things First, I do the bigger rocks first, Angela. I do the more important things, so that over 5 years, I've put more big rocks. I've done more of the big things. That's the plan. Because in between 2 o'clock, like all day tonight, all night tonight till 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock, noon. We all know what happens at noon, right? That's when we eat, okay? We got to eat. It's like when people say, kids say, what's your favorite course at school, or what's your favorite class? Lunchtime. And I mean, I look at a kid and I go like, me and you, we relate. I'm with you. Me and you, lunchtime. And then you get these athletic type. They say, recess. Recess is my favorite time. So that's like 3 o'clock. You got recess. But see, what happens is everybody has the same day. All the way to midnight, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I go to bed at 9. Okay, your day ends at 9. Other people's day ends at 9. They just don't end it by sleeping. They end it by doing something else for 3 more hours. So you don't understand, Andy. I got to have my sleep. I understand. Let me repeat it back to you. You got to have your sleep. See, I understood it. I heard what you said. You got to have your sleep. I got you. So, but you don't understand. What else you want me to tell you? I got you. You got to have your sleep. Then you got Friday. Same thing. 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. When do you wake up? See, you got that same amount of time. Some people wake up. Some people sleep in. Some people, listen to this. Some wake up and lay there. Well, what's that doing right there? You ain't asleep and you ain't up doing nothing. You just laying there. I'm thinking about it. Okay, you laying there thinking about it. All right, so you thinking about it and somebody's doing it. Okay? So you're going throughout the whole day. Here we go, all the way till midnight. Then the next day starts over. Here we go, 15 minutes goes by. You know what you could do? You could watch a YouTube funny. You could watch one of those funny videos for 3 minutes. Yep, that's what you did. You could check out Facebook. Whoa, you could find out that a person that you went to high school with that you ain't seen in 22 years got a new puppy. And yeah, it's a half Doberman, half pit bull. And there's a little kid in the picture. And you're going like, wonder if that's my buddy's kid that I went to school with 20 years ago that I ain't seen, who's got a pit bull Doberman, and there's a kid in it. Wonder if that kid is their kid. And then you can call your wife, who, by the way, don't know the person from 20 years ago in your life or care. And you showing it to them, and then if it's a girl, they're going like, is that your girlfriend? You're like, no! No, they just went to lunch with me. Oh, went to eat with her, did you? Well, what? I mean, it's just like, you know what that reminds me of? Well, if I tell you what it reminds me of, I didn't tell you that I've seen the television lately, but I have. It's that commercial where the guy says, you know, if you don't get your cable, you'll do something, you end up getting beat up by a monkey or something. You know that one? That's what it reminds me of. That's what people do. They do stuff that leads to consequences. They do stuff And my kids are my daughter's in college, but my son's at home. He'll update me on stuff that I don't care about. You know, he'll see something on Instagram and tell me about it, and I have to stop and listen to that. And that's okay. I'm talking to my kid, but see, everybody's doing something during the day. Look at this. This is a lot of time between 2 o'clock and midnight, 6 a.m. and midnight, 6 a.m. and midnight, 6 a.m. and midnight, 6 a.m. and midnight. And see, here's what people think. They think that Fitzgerald has more time, or that James Hill has more time, or Aaron Guterman has more time. And I'm going like, no, they don't. It's the things they do during that time that make the massive difference. So then you go like, I don't know what to do, Andy. Would you hurry up and tell me? I'm working to it. I'm getting to it. I got a few minutes to get to it. Sunday morning, you get up at 6. People say, here's what people say to me. I go to church on Sunday. I go, what time do you go to church on Sunday? Well, does Sunday school start at 10? Because there's from 6 a.m. till 10 right there. What do you do during that from 6 a.m. till 10? Well, I'm eating breakfast. What time do you eat breakfast? Do you watch TV? Do you turn on radio? Do you check Facebook? Do you check your email? Do you read a book? Do you read your Bible? Are you getting the kids dressed? Are you getting them lunch? Wait a minute, we don't have to get them lunch. It's not a school day, it's church day. What are you doing from 6 to 10? And then you go till noon, and then it takes you 30 minutes to get out, and then you got to go to lunch. What are you doing during your day? And to me, it's not like my business what you do with your time. But it is my business if you're coming to me and you're going, Andy, can this business work for me? Can I win a Greek Isles cruise? Can I do what these other people are doing? Can I do it, Lil Con? Can I make it happen? And the question is, does this schedule, how does it rock your world? What do you do with the time allotted? This reminds me of the parable of the talents, where the rich guy gave one guy talents, he gave him money, he gave another guy money, and he gave another guy money. And when he went away, he said, what did you do with the talents you had? So what I'm asking you is, what are you going to do with the time you're going to have? Now for the other guys, there's some of these dudes, they got, we don't show up in Cincinnati until Tuesday. So they got another 24 hours. Don't show up in Chicago until Wednesday. They got another 24 hours. Don't show up in St. Louis until Thursday. And then, so here's the thing. And people say, well, what are you doing? First of all, don't worry about what I'm doing, but I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm flying up to Detroit Saturday morning. So I'm gone from Saturday morning until I fly back Friday morning. I am putting in, because people say, you're just lucky. It just happened to you. It's easy for you to say, well, then you leave your family on Saturday and come back on Friday. You say, well, that sounds miserable. I go, dude, you understand that what I'm doing today with my family is up here. It's not boring. It's not miserable. When Fitz comes back home, he's got an incredible house, and they're not worried about at Chuck E. Cheese whether it's going to cost $15, $30, or $200. It's what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to put in? And what do you want? What do you want it to look like? I'm reading a great book right now. I should do the book of the month. I've read this book several times. How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success Through Selling. If you hadn't read this, you need to. This is the book of the month, and everybody needs to read it. But I'm reading another book called Goals by Brian Tracy. I just finished Magic Thinking Big. And by the way, Magic Thinking Big, I've read like 4 times. But this Goals book, the first time I've ever read it. And I'm just freaking out over it. Because one of the things it says is, what do you want to accomplish in the next 5 years? And he challenges you to write them down on a sheet of paper. People say this to me all the time. They say, Andy, how right now, with all the circumstances you're under, so this is you, which is the same place as me, under circumstances. And they say, how are you so excited now? Because what I've got now is not what I'm thinking about. What I'm thinking about is what it's going to be. And people say this, they say like, Andy, if you're always thinking about what it's going to be, you never get to live in now. I'm like, dude, you understand by thinking about where it's going to be, I get to enjoy what I've got now because I know it's going to be better? It's the concept of what's the potential? What can you create? James says, what can you create in the next 5 years with the Alliance? There's nothing that says when you're doing war parties that you can't afford to take a private jet, whereas we're a lot of times taking commercial. We've done private jet. Well, how would you like to take private jet every single time? It's that concept of where, what do you want? What do you want? Draw it out. What do you want to do? Write it down. Put it in black and white so that you can see it. All right, let's go back to this calendar. So, in order to have a successful hotspot meeting, which we in Detroit, we want to grow this meeting. There's 4 things we need to do. Number 1, we need to get the attitude and the atmosphere and the attitude correct, which is 100% positive. So right now, you need to be thinking, come Detroit, when Andy's there, I'm going to be like this. I'm going to be fired up. And people say, how do you create atmosphere? Let me show you how you do this. You do like this right here. Woo! Yes! Hey man, what's up, Aaron? So you do it like that right there. People say like, well, I don't know if I am excited. Here's the way you be excited. Like that. You got to get you. And then you can't come in like this. You get depressed, you get everybody depressed around you. You do like this. Like that. You got to have skip to it, like that. You know, you got to get you got to say like, we got to have atmosphere right. All right, no kidding. And people say like, well, hey, but you just get up like that, don't you? You just get up like that. It takes the atmosphere. It's like in the NCAA championship and the fans are going crazy and people going, you say, well, then I could bump into people. I could go like that. Well, at 6 o'clock this afternoon, my son and them are going to be playing lacrosse. Lacrosse High School in North Carolina goes like this. There's like 12 mamas and daddies, 12 old people up in the stands. And the kids are way down there, and it sounds like this. Yay! There's none of that. There's, yay, Spencer! Yay, Terry, go 23, go white. But those kids will be going, boom, and they'll be bouncing into each other, and they start getting the excitement. Now, we play this other team. They played this other team the other day. They was excited. I was scared. Our kids were down there bumping, and I was thinking, matter of fact, I told one of the other dads, I said, tell them to turn the clock on now. You know what I'm saying? Like you wanted the time to run out in the game early. You know what I'm saying? Because we wanted to keep the score down. I mean, these boys were awesome. They were crazy excited. And it was a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? Like we had like 9 on the bench. They had like 32 on the bench. And my wife says, and they got a JV team too. I was like, what? So it's you create your excitement and your atmosphere. You make a decision in Detroit. You make a decision in Raleigh. And you train people how to do it. You say, Andy, you did not learn how to get excited. Yes. But in athletics, the coach, you'll see the coaches. They'll be going like, you've seen the coaches, Krzyzewski, with the dude, he'd be like, let's go! He is trying to get the kids excited. Like he's not the guy that's going to shoot the ball, but he's doing this right here, trying to get them excited. Going, guys, why do you think he does that? Do you think he does that so that they can hit their free throws better? Yes, because with positive energy comes power. With depression comes depression. Does that make sense? Like, you feel miserable, so you do nothing. You feel miserable, so you ain't even looking at the goal. But when you have the enthusiasm, it's like this. Watch this. Try to be depressed looking like this. Just try it. Just go like, I'm going to be depressed. I'm going to show Andy I'm really depressed. I'm really depressed. Stephen Davies, I apologize for stealing this from you, and it's my first attempt on national television. Stephen Davies says, pretend like you're on a jet ski. Who could be on a jet ski and be depressed? You can't sit on a jet ski and be depressed. So you got to get your mind right. I mean, you go walking in and think about like, so well, people see right through that. Let me tell you something. The lacrosse team didn't see right through it. They went, oh gosh. And there's a team, what's the team that does the rugby, that does this right here, when they go, huh, huh. Have y'all seen that? No. It's what did I just say? The rugby team. I think it's All Black. Is that their name? It's Australian team? They crazy, man. And people that are seeing it going, oh yeah. You Google this. Google this. It's called their mantra, or just Google. You go to YouTube. No, don't go to YouTube. You got other things to do. You ain't got time to go to that. You just watch me. And they do this thing. Every one of them at one time they go, boom, boom. It's like 14 of them, and they're just, God, you're going like, holy cow. So when we do the Detroit meeting, and people say this, they go like, Andy, are you staging? Yes, I'm staging, just like when we were Little League, just like when we played midgets, just like professional basketball players. If you get people hustling and having the attitude, that is the number one step that it's got to be. You got to do it. Number two, we have to sell something before the meeting, and we have to invite people to the meeting. And the way you invite people is you GS3, you get them started, you get people started and get them in the routine, and then the meeting comes available Monday. So you don't call them and invite them for Monday, you get them in the pattern, and then they show up on Monday. That's a big thing for people to get. You don't invite people to the meetings. You get them to go to the meetings along the way. The meetings are like a boost along the way for education. So we got to sell. Number 3. At the meeting, we sell the plan. We show the plan. We present the opportunity. The key is we sell. And people say, why do you have to sell it? Can't you just show it to them? Let me tell you something. You could put Coca-Cola on the shelf, but what they do in the commercials is they sell it. Now here's the crazy thing. Even though I'm already drinking Coca-Cola, they still sell me Coca-Cola. Because what? Because people just, if you don't tell them what to do, if you don't sell them what to do, they do nothing. They just stand there looking around. So you have to convince. You have to persuade. That's the human race. It's like, given the choice, who would pick hell over heaven? I mean, just given the choice. So why do you have to sell people on that? That's just the way people are. They need to have logic, and they need to have emotion, and they need to have reasons to do stuff. So we sell them. What's the first step in selling them? The attitude and the atmosphere when they walk in, when they see that expectancy, they see it, they feel it. But first of all, you got to have somebody invited. You have to have somebody that's in the program, that's in the pipeline, that comes to the meeting. Then at the meeting, the speaker shows it to them. The speaker sells it to them. We have to sell them that what we're doing and the success we're having. The next thing we do is we train. So at the meeting, we teach principle. We teach principles and skill set. Okay? What are these? Principles are the things that we have to do. People skills, having integrity, high quality, being on time. What skill set? We teach people how to sell more insurance, how to move annuity money. We teach these things at the opportunity meeting. It's required. At the end of the opportunity meeting, we bam fam. We book a meeting from a meeting. We continue on with the people that are at the meeting. So we bring a person to the meeting Monday in Detroit. We don't let them leave the meeting without us booking another meeting, another progression in their business. The fourth thing that we do is we follow up. We follow up. We continue to GS3. We come back to the meeting with an attitude. We make sure that we've sold some insurance, invited new people. So it's a cycle. We just keep going around. This is the simple way to build a meeting. So when you go back over here, what do we got to do? What steps do we have to take? Remember, we already made our mind up that we are going to be, on Monday, we are going to be fired up. We already made our mind up. We're going to be excited. Now some people say, don't we need to wait and see what happens? See if we sell a lot in between here and there? No. We say, we're going to be fired. I'll tell you this. If it's just me and Eric, Lardy, and Cheryl, I'm going to be fired up. If it's them and 150 people, I'm going to be fired up. If it's 500 people, I'm going to be fired up. That's my decision that I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. You can make that decision too. Now, in between now and then, though, here's what you need to do if you're in a Detroit meeting. Starting at 2 o'clock, what are you going to do? Let's look at your calendar and let's go down it. There is a book called an activity book. I'm looking for one. There's an activity book right here. Go to your activity book and start thinking. Start writing down. Go to the date, today's date, look it up, and start putting down, start writing down. So here's Friday, say, or let's see, this will be Wednesday. Go to Wednesday and say, all right, here's what time I'm going to start making appointments. So what time are you going to start booking appointments? Are you going to start at 2:15? If this is over at 2 o'clock, you're going to get a drink of water, you're going to go to the bathroom, what are you going to do? You're going to check Facebook, check email, you're going to walk outside and see what the weather's like, you're going to check the Weather Channel, you want to turn it on some television show. What's your decision? Well, I'm going to check on pending. Okay, I understand you're going to check on pending. Are you going to do anything with it? Could you do that later at like 11 o'clock at night? Because at 11 o'clock, you can't book any appointments. In other words, you have to decide what you're going to do with your time. And if you will go ahead, it's the same principle. It's the same principle of excitement here. If you will go ahead and say, I am going to book calls from 2:15 until 3:15 until 4 o'clock. If you say, I am going to book appointments. Now watch this. I know what can stop you. Do you know what can stop you? Here's the number one thing that can stop you. You. You are it. You're a genius at manipulating yourself. You know your priority system. You could say things to yourself like, my kids are number one and my kids need me. My wife is number one and she needs me. I need my desk neat, therefore I must neaten it up. My wife has been telling me, in our bathroom, I'm telling you, if somebody holler at Dale that works that does my maintenance, tell him to get the bathroom fixed in my son's bathroom. Because, I mean, I'm sitting here, it's on my mind, right? I mean, I almost want to stop and go fix it because my wife told me to fix it. And I don't want to cause problems at home. I don't want to fight with Jane. I want to be happy with Jane. So I better fix this window. See the logic I'm going through? That's what you go through too. You have this logic that tells you to fix that window first before you book appointments. And you could say, like, I devoted an hour and a half to Andy doing TWC. I deserve some relaxation time. So I'm going to go get some lemonade. It's 82 degrees outside. I'm going to sit out on the deck and just sit out there and just bask in God's glory because I'm supposed to praise God. And see, you're using this logic that I'm with you on it. I'm 100% with you. I'm just telling you that 5 years from now, you got to picture what it wants to be for you. What do you want it to be like? What are you willing to give up? So you say, all right, so I am going to book appointments. Now, you say, well, I've already made 5 sales. Well, if you've already made 5 sales this week, maybe you don't need to book appointments. But if you haven't made any sales, like hopefully you started Monday's opportunity meeting and now you've already made some sales. But let's say that you've managed to keep yourself from selling. Let's say you've organized in your head, you've strategized to keep from selling an application, or you've only sold one and you've tricked yourself into doing it. Hey, here's a statement for you. It's not what you know that's going to kill you. Like, I know this. That's not going to kill you. Here's what'll mess you up. It's what you know that's wrong. Like if you say, well, I know I couldn't have done anything different the last 24 hours. I know that I did all I can do. It's what you know that's wrong. I know I made 75 phone calls already this week. And then you look at your activity book and it's not in there, but you say, I know I did it. When the truth is, you made 13 dials, not 72. That's why we have an activity book so that you can document what you do. I just read this. Who's Maslow? Maslow is this famous psychiatrist, psychologist, talk about how man was built and the way he thinks. And he talks about self-actualization. That's being a great person. And he says, the greatest strength you can know from a man is when he's completely honest with himself. It's not when you tell me how many phone calls you made. It's not when you tell me whether you was on Facebook. It's not whether you tell me that you were goofing off. It's not whether you tell me that you can't pray. It's what do you say to yourself. So you say it to yourself, and then what you do is you go like, nobody's perfect. Here's what I'm going to do now. So you put down that because here's another thing you'll do is you'll beat yourself down, and then you feel like you don't deserve it, and then what you do is you sulk, or what does one of my pastors say? You sit, soak, and sour. You just sit there and you get bitter as opposed to get better. So the concept is this. Book the time, and you say, wait a minute, wait, I don't have any leads. Good point, you don't have leads. So now what we need to do is we're going to have to change our strategy right here since you don't have leads. What are we going to, well, Andy, I stumped you now. No, you ain't stumped me, I'm good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you from 2, matter of fact, you might as well go ahead and start at 2 since you don't have leads and take 30 minutes to go on there and instant purchase some leads. Or maybe shoot a text right now to your upline and say, hey, at 2:15, could we talk about how to get me some more leads or how I need to get leads or where I can get leads. So you do 30 minutes of strategizing. Now you got 2:30, you're going to make phone calls, 3:30, 4:30. When do I book phone calls for? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me what's already booked in your life. Because if church is already booked right here, and you always play with your kids right here, and you go to bed at 11 o'clock every night, what you're doing is you're telling me these are the things you can't do. But what you accidentally did is you also told me the things that you can do. So you told me that that's the only thing booked. So like for me, I'm booked. I got to leave at 5:30. I got to be at lacrosse at 5:45 and 8 o'clock. So I can't really do anything until 8:30. Okay? So I'm pretty much booked right here. So family time, what do you have to do? Now, here's the other thing is, how bad do you want it? Because some wives and some husbands, they really are going to lose their house, they're going to lose a car, and they may have to skip the lacrosse meeting. I don't want you to. People say, that's the first thing I'm going to do is quit taking times with my kids. And I go, whoa, couldn't you tell me, is there something that you're doing personal? I just read a story about a guy that when he graduated college, he was really good at golf. He wasn't a professional, but he would play golf 3 times a week. That's about a 3.5, 4-hour pop. So during the week, he would pay 3. And what happened is he got married. And so he had a wife, and he worked in dating her, and he got a good job, and he worked in playing golf 3 times a week. Well, then what happens is he had babies. They had 2 children. Well, he was still working in his golf. Then his kids grew up and they started to have a life in athletics. And then one day he went, what am I doing with my time? And he realized that one of his dreams in life was to have a family and kids that love him and a wife that loves him. And what he had to do is he had to back down and start doing 1 golf game. And some weeks, 0. And he was a happier person. Because he was always frustrated because while he was playing golf, he should be with the kids. And when he was with the kids, he thought his golf game was deteriorating. So if he's going to play professional golf, that's one thing. So it's sometimes people in their life, they call this the 0 thought process. What is it in my life that ranks as 0 compared to the other things I've got to do in my life? Thank you for listening to TWC. Where does it rank in your life? If you're on this call, something got ranked lower that you could be doing. Maybe it's a TV show. Maybe it's exercising. Maybe you rank this higher than going out and making a sale. But when you put the whole list of things that tie your life up, I still want you to make 5,000 sales a week. Why? Because our vision is 2020. 20,000 in sales, which is about 5,000 a week, and then 20 recruits. So business-wise, you're 2020. What's the rest of your life like? How do you schedule it? Fitz and Chris Long, how you hanging in there, guys? Any comments on this?
Yeah, I'm loving it, Andy. I just wrote down what's it rank. It reminds me of the teaching that we kind of what we teach all the time with the 4 quadrants. Trying to figure out the things that are that are important. But like quadrant 1 versus quadrant 2 versus quadrant 4. Urgent, but not important, important, but not urgent, that sort of thing. Number one things that can stop us is us. I love that, bro. But man, it makes you reflect. I was doing the math on it when you're talking about the hours because I know there's 168 hours in a week, and if you sleep 8 hours a day, times 7, that's 52 hours right there. You're down to 112 already. And if you figure you're going to eat 2.5 hours a day, like an hour for dinner, hour for lunch, maybe a half hour for breakfast, you're already down to 94 hours. So we're just talking about eating and sleeping. We're already down to 80 hours. We haven't had any family time yet. It's amazing with how fast the time can go by, and unless you're asking yourself questions like, what does this rank? It's amazing how quickly life can just dominate your schedule, and the next thing you know, it's Monday again. It's right, just like you talk about in the Green Book, bro.
So this person, book appointments from 2:30 till 4:30. If you have lacrosse and you have to leave at 5:30, that means from 4:30 to 5:30, you can actually call people that are interested in a job. interested in a sales opportunity. So it's only an hour. So maybe you only talk to 12 people. Maybe you only talk to 6. But if it's not in your calendar, you won't do it. So is that Chris? Are you hollering at me?
Yeah, I mean, even if you only talk to 6 people, you did 6 interviews through a spare hour. What if you could somehow reclaim just 1 spare hour a day times 7 days? That's 42 interviews that you wouldn't have done. But it's realizing how precious time is. It's like that book you had us read, 20,000 days. And it just, when you start really kind of picking it apart, man, it's crazy how fast time evaporates. But even like you said, if you got 1 hour, a lot of people are like, well, it's just the ride home. I just listen to the radio. It could be an hour of your time, and if you could just reclaim 1 hour a day, which any of us could do by asking us that question, how does it rank, and just being intentional about our schedules, I mean, that's an extra 40 interviews a week plus, 40 plus. You think you might be able to find 1 or 2 agents out of, a week, versus what we did last month? It's making me reflect all day long, bro.
Fitz, think about this, and I want you to comment after this. Book appointments, sell to eat. Sell to eat, recruit to live. So you got 2 hours of booking appointments to eat, then you got an hour to build a life. What's a life? When you have people that are selling besides you and you can disappear for a week, 2 weeks, a month, and the money keeps coming in. Fitz, remember we used to say that? Sell to eat, recruit to live?
Yes, sir. The Fitz Group had buttons made of that back in the day. We used to wear them at conference, still have them. I have that button sitting next to my sink in my bathroom in my house. Every morning I look at it. Every morning I think about it. And that's when people ask me, Fitz, how did you build your business? Well, I sold to eat. I sold to survive. I sold to keep my lights on and keep the roof over my head. But I built to live because, listen, I want to live, man. I don't want to be knocking doors when I'm 85 years old. I don't want to. I mean, that's not what I wanted. So I built to live, and you know what? What we've built so far, we're living pretty good. What we're continuing to build, God, Andy, going over this schedule. I mean, people ask me, Fitz, what's the biggest? What's the one secret? They always want what the one secret is to making $1 million. There's like a million secrets, but the biggest thing for me, watching you grow in the early days from zero production to $500,000 a month in 6 months. And me going from zero production to like $2 in the same 6 months, asking you, how are you doing it? And you got me thinking about my schedule. And now, I mean, I don't know, you could probably tell me, I prefer you tell me offline, but I think the biggest complaint that you get about Fitz is that he is so rigid with his schedule. I feel like I have to schedule time with Fitz. Yeah. I schedule time with my wife. I schedule time with my kids. They're way more important than anybody else I'm talking to. Yeah, you got to because every second counts. Every second counts. If you ever feel like if you ever feel guilty when you're spending time with the family, that's because you didn't work when you were supposed to work. If you ever feel guilty when you're working that you're not spending time with your family, it's because you're not spending time with your family when you're supposed to spend time with your family. Everybody has the same amount of time. I have the same amount of time as Andy. Somehow his sales force is doing $100 million a year and mine's doing $25 million a year. I'm thinking he used his time differently than I did. And the smarter I get with that time and the better I use it, the bigger my business will grow, the bigger my life will be that I'm building.
My buddy Larry, this window of time right here, this hour from 4:30 to 5:30, and again, I'm saying you got lacrosse game for your kids. Maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you can do something different. Here's another thing. When am I going to eat? Because people think about when I'm going to eat. I'm going to tell you what, they got Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Y'all know where y'all live in the country. Y'all might not have Chick-fil-A, and if they don't have Chick-fil-A where you are, I will pray for you. We got Chick-fil-A at our high school where my son plays, so you can eat while you're watching the game. Now, I'm telling you, 8 o'clock, 8:15, I'm hugging him, I'm kissing him. We talking about all what happened, and we got to drive home. I got a 15-minute drive. I promise you, I can make a phone call right there if I want to. Or I can listen and practice my country singing. My favorite song right now is I Like Doing What She Likes. I do. I like doing what she likes. That's what I like to do. I like hanging out with her. That's what my favorite. Oh, that's right. I'm not supposed to be listening to country songs. I got to make a phone call. Hey, I like music. Some of it's going to mess you up. I like music as much as y'all do. I just make a phone call. I like music as much as my son does, but I make a phone call. I want to turn on that radio and jam just like you do. I know that's messing you up. I know you're going like, no, you don't. You can't like it as much as I do. You can't enjoy that. Yes, I do. How come you don't do it? Because I'm making a decision right now ahead of time that when I get in that car, I know that I have got to call Mike and Noel Leventovich because they are driving home and they had no internet service and I missed them all day yesterday and they're driving home now. If they're on the road, they're listening to it. They got a long drive. And I got to get on the phone and I got to call them. I got to work it. They're high on my list. I got to work it in. So, if you have talked to a good person during this time period and you just touch base with them, you put them on a website, you can make a note to call them during this 15-minute window ride home. But you got, hey, I know it's almost like cursing to some of you. You're going to have to think ahead and plan what you're going to do and put it in your calendar and then do it. Listen to this. This is the book of the month. How many of you hadn't read this? Check this out. I could write poetry too if I didn't sing country songs, but you are the man who used to boast that you'd achieve the uttermost someday. You merely wished a show to demonstrate how much you know and prove the distance you can go. Another year we've just passed through. What new ideas have come to you? How many big things did you do? Time left 12 fresh months in your care. You had 12 beautiful months that you were in charge of. Oh, I'm just supposed to read it. I'm not supposed to commentate. Sorry. Whoops. Everybody makes mistakes. Okay. How many of them did you share with opportunity and dare? Again, were you so often missed? You had 12 months in your care. How many of them did you demonstrate and dare? How many of those months did you take names? Right? How many of those months did you kick butt? We do not find you on the list of makers good. How about that? How'd you like to be on the list of makers good? Explain the fact. I know 'twas not the chance you lacked. As usual, you failed to act. See? Why you get so excited? Because I'm acting. I'm doing stuff. I'm out there talking to people. I'm on the phone, baby. My friend Chris Long's growing like crazy. My friend Diane Lampy's growing like crazy. My friend Angela is growing like crazy. My cuz, he's down in Atlanta, picked up $6,000 yesterday. Whoa! Got people coming to the meeting tonight. Whoa! See, me and my friends are not in this poem. We're in a different poem. We're in the one where we win, where we're putting in the actions. Come join us. This thing is working, guys. I'm telling you, the heat is on. That's why I'm excited about it. Okay, so what happens next? So then we're driving home. Then what do we do? What do you have to do? Is it time I got to spend 30 minutes? Well, I know when my son gets home, he hits the shower. He don't talk about that. He goes to the shower. And I don't sit there at the kitchen table going like, when he gets out of the shower, we're going to review how he should have blocked that pass and how he should have done that and the funny stuff that happened. No, I got 30 minutes. I got 30 minutes. He's going to come walking back in there. It's thinking through the day. And the other thing is, my son, he has something on going to bed early. And so is my wife. They go to bed early. And I go like, I love on them, talk to them, try to get my mind right, try to get their mind right. And then they go like, I'm going to bed. And I go like, I've got a list of things to do. So one of the good things that I suggest you do is you call people to recruit people right here. Now, by the way, you might need to run a Craigslist. So you might, while you're booking appointments, if you're good at booking appointments, you can run a Craigslist while you're booking appointments. You can be sitting there. See, here's the funny thing. People say, I can't do two things at once. Well, here's what happens. They're booking appointments and they're playing birds and feathers or wild birds or what is them things that people play? Huh? Yeah, Flappy Bird or whatever. And I'm going like, how are you doing that and working? Well, see, what I'm doing is I'm working while I'm working. I'm running another ad while I'm working. Why? Because of that poem right there. I don't want the month to go by that I haven't found somebody else. And, okay, so here we go. This is big. When did you book these appointments for? Did you book these appointments during the day for Tuesday? What did you book up Tuesday? Now, here's the other thing. Some people say, well, I already have stuff booked. What do you have booked that, God, can you cancel it? Can you put it off? Can you just simply not do it? Is it something that ranks so much lower that it don't matter? Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, she wants that window fixed, and I'm screaming, somebody get somebody out of my house to fix that window. In other words, now here's another thing. If you're going to be one of our leaders, you probably need administrative help. You probably need a secretary. So I'm just started. I promise you, ask Fitz when I hired a secretary. Day one, I had no money. I had credit cards and check protection. And I hired somebody, and then I worked my butt off to pay for them. I like what Fitz said about teaching his kid, and Fitz, you can comment on this, to save 10%, put 10% in charity to give money away. When we first started, we spent money we didn't even have. We didn't save 10%. We had nothing. We spent everything we had. If we got $800, we put it in advertisement. And we would tell the secretary, we'd say, Deborah, wait until next week, we'll pay you. We'll get caught up. Our number one deal was our business. We wanted to invest in a business that would create the lifestyle. Then we can teach our kids. Fitz, can you comment on that? Like what was your percentages when you first started? Like when we were trying to build a business, opportunity was in front of us?
Yeah, I wasn't saving 10%. No, I mean, I was investing 110% of what I was making. I was definitely going backwards. I put it all to the center. You know, and that's another lesson that Joseph and I have walked through in the last year, because I've mentioned to him that what I want to do is redo the driveway, and as part of that, we're going to redo the basketball court. We got a nice goal, and one of those gorilla things, I can hang on it, it won't break the goal. But I told him, hey, we're going to put in a full-size key and a three-point line, and it's going to be good, a good little basketball court here. He keeps asking, hey, when's it coming? Well, I was just telling him, look, son, I mean, I laid out a $10 bill, a $20 bill, and a $100 bill. I said, you have this $10 bill. You can go buy all the football cards you want to buy, or you can buy Hot Wheels, whatever you want to buy. Or you could trade that $10 for $20. Which one do you want to do? He said, I want to trade the 10 for 20. I said, there you go. Now, with this 20, you could have 2 10s and take one of those 10s and just go buy all the crap you want to buy, or you could take this and then take the other $10 bill and get another $20 bill. He said, I like that. I said, or you could take that 20 and take all of it into getting that $100 bill. Which one would you do? He said, I'd take the 20 and get a $100 bill. I said, right. I said, now here's the catch. It may take a month. When you give that $20 bill, it may take a month to get that $100 bill back. Are you still okay with that? He said, yep. I said, it may take a year. Are you still okay with that? He said, yeah. He said, Dad, what you're saying is I have to wait to be happy. I said, no, you have to wait to be happier. It's delayed gratification. Is this making sense? He said, yeah. I said, right now, could I go do the driveway and get the basketball court and all that sort of stuff? Absolutely. But instead, I'm taking that $20 bill and I'm trading it for $100. He said, have you gotten a $100 bill yet? I said, I've gotten some of it. But you know, I can't help it. That $100 bill came in. I want to get a $1,000 bill. He said, do they even make those? Well, no, not really. but yeah. I said, dude, and he said, okay, Dad, but we're going to get the basketball court, right? I said, dude, absolutely. I mean, every second of his time that he's got free, he's out there shooting baskets and working on dribbling and all that sort of stuff. He loves basketball, and I mean, the family, I mean, it's just something we do. Dude, I'm going to get that. Right now, I'm investing in this over here, and that return comes in. I can have money to continue investing. I mean, just teaching him that, he gets it. And every time now I talk to him about it, he doesn't ask me, Dad, when do we get in the basketball court? He says, Dad, how you doing on that $100 bill? It's coming, son. It's coming. He's like, I got you. I'm with you. It's teaching that lesson that's so stinking important. That's what we did. I mean, we started making money. The year we got out of debt, we paid off our $80,000 in debt was 2004. We made $597,000 that year. We were living like we were making $60,000. We were still driving just one car that had hail damage on it and a balloon payment coming. That's what we were living like. We were still putting everything back in.
All right, watch this. This is big, Larry. You have booked appointments. So you have appointments booked here, here, here. If you were smart and jammed them up. You've got a person interested and another person interested from the ads you run or from resumes you called or from a friend you called. So what you do is you text your buddy, can you talk first thing in the morning? So you text your buddy and you say, hey, Bo, can you ride with me? So you go to his house and you pick him up. This guy that you don't even know, that you just called off of a resume. And you call him up and you say, you want to ride with me? I've got 3 appointments. So he rides with you. You put in a CD of Alex Fitzgerald and you say, listen to this dude right here. You put in a CD of Chris Long. You put in a CD of Aaron Guterman and you start listening to it and you tell them about the person. So you're selling your new recruit while you're going to appointments. By the way, there was a window here that you could have been calling people back and walking them through contracting. Say, Andy, if I do this, I'll be just very productive. That's the idea, is how to get more productive with your time. So that when 24 hours goes by, you get a lot done. So you say, well, could I take 2 people with me? Yeah, you could meet them both. So I don't have time to go here and there and pick these 2 people up. Book them at a Panera Bread and go pick them up and then ride together. So I can't take 2 people on an appointment, can I? Yes. You tell them, sit over there and be quiet. Don't say nothing. Just tell them, so these guys, I'm training them. In this business, we have to train people. So you tell the family that you're meeting with, we have to train them. Y'all sit over there and be quiet. So now you're training them as you go to appointments. And you tell your new people about this meeting that's going to happen on Monday. You tell them to put it in their calendar. So, well, what if they need to get through class? They just need to get through class. They're not going to work 24 hours a day getting in class. You're not slowing them down. Because when you leave them excited and you drop them back off, you tell them to go get their class. By the way, you're not tied up. they're tied up, and you give them 2 CDs each. That's 2 hours of your time and 2 hours of your time that they are going to learn what's going on. And then what you do is you say, what are you doing tonight? So you book them to your house or back to the very same Panera Bread, and you go back there and you say, think about who you might know that we could recruit, that we could build. So you go ahead and book an appointment with them. You say, well, what if none of the people I talk to I like? Well, then in that case, you're making phone calls here. The point is, you don't just book them into the meeting, you take them on appointments. You say, well, Andy, what if they don't live local to me? You get on the phone and you start teaching them. You start talking to them about what they're doing on appointments, what they're going to say, what's it going to be like. You walk them through the cruise information. You start building that relationship. Ask them about their kids. Don't take 2 hours, take 25, 30 minutes. If you hadn't seen GS3, go to NAA University and work through the GS3 training session. So what you've got is you start jamming up, so you're talking to 7, 8, or 10 people. So the idea is to get 5,000 in sales and to get 5 people to this meeting by Monday. So what if I get $1,000 in sales and 1 person to the meeting? That's okay. We love you. We appreciate you. You're making progress. You're going to get better. If you get none, we have to evaluate and say, let's look at your calendar and see what you did or did not do during this time frame. Guys, the only thing that can stop you is you. You got to understand that I'm not perfect, Aaron's not perfect, Lil Con's not, James, we're a disaster. But our calendar is more perfect than yours. Our calendar is better than yours. And then when we screw up, when we work and we get 0 results, we review the tapes, just like a basketball team. We review the tapes. What did we say? What did we not say? We don't know. Say, we couldn't have beat that team. We review the tapes and we say, how could we have won the game? How could we have made a sale? And we talk to somebody better and we review what we did. So that Monday, right here, we're going to review your schedule so that the next week you get better, so that we incrementally each week we get better. Guys, the Alliance is taking off. We need your help. There's so much to do. There's families out there looking for us. There's people hiring people they have no prosperity, inspiration, no eternity. They have no idea where they're going. They're just hiring them for a job and they're messing them up, and then they get locked in on this. We, on the other hand, are hiring people with unlimited potential. And what we're doing is making a difference, and we're bringing hope to America. Come join the Alliance on our mission. Make it happen. See you in one of these 4 cities coming up. See you there. Love you. Bye.
The heart of every movement is the individual who makes a decision that something matters. A decision that something needs to change.
Don't get caught up with the destination. Fall in love with the process.
We will not be denied, we refuse to lose, and we will fight to unite regardless.
Understand this is the right time, we're in the right place, we're fighting the right battle. We're looking for people who want to be the warriors on the right team. Are you willing to join us?
You've been blessed with an opportunity, but the opportunity itself is not going to be what blesses you. What blesses you is how you grind, how you work with this opportunity, how you sweat with this opportunity, how you sacrifice with this opportunity.
And we dream.
Are you willing to go out and fight for your family? Are you willing to fight for your freedom, to fight for your independence?
And we struggle.
I did not quit. And every day I thank God I didn't give up.
And we fight.
I, in 2014, am choosing. I am fighting to unite.
And we overcome.
To be part of such a team like this right here, and a team like this right here, this is a dream come true. But let me be crystal clear. This is only the beginning.
Everything you need to get where you need to be is inside of you. Stop whining and tap into your greatness.
We need for you to make a difference. America needs it. Your family needs it. You need it.
1, 2, 3, 9.
Hey guys, Andy Albright looking at you with 2020 vision. So what is 2020 vision? That's when you see yourself in the future how you want your life to be. It's making a difference for people. It's having fun. It's making some good money to take care of your family. This is for that guy that wants to run like his hair's on fire. This is a man that wants to change his life, and I mean, he wants to change it now. It is on with 2020 vision. Go make it happen for you. Let's go. Get it. Grab it.